Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We're from Group 3. We'll explain about armies, belligerent and navy enemies. And we'll find an analysis of whether OPM is included in this three-part of not. Before that, we will introduce our group. Let me introduce myself. My name is Priska Amena Mayanti. My student ID is 030.
My name is Istrova. My number student ID is 046.
My name is Sophia, number student 043.
My name is Ananda Firdaus. My number student is 054.
My name is Rizky Agustin. My study number 196.
The concept of armies or military force as organized military power has existed since ancient times. Initially, armies often consisted of volunteer militants or troop forms, ADHOC, for specific war purposes. Over time, and with the development of nation states, armies evolved into more structured, professional, and permanent institutions. The formation of centralized and disciplined national armies became a hallmark of modern states, especially after the French Revolution. Legal basis. In international humanitarian law, IHL armies are recognized as lawful commitments. The status creates the specific rights and obligations under the law of armed conflict, the Hague Convention on 1907. Hague Regulation. Article 1 of the Hague Regulation 1907 explicitly state that the law, rights, and obligation of war apply not only to armies but also to militant and volunteer corps that meet certain criteria, the Geneva Convention of 1949, and additional protocols, the Geneva Convention 3 on the treatment of prisoner of war specifically cover the treatment of armed force members who fall into hands of the enemy as prisoner of war. This is a fundamental acknowledgement of the status of armies are combatants.
Belligerent, warring party, or rebel origin. The term belligerent generally refers to parties involved in armed conflict. Historically, recognition of belligerency is granted when a non-state armed group rebel achieves a significant level of organization and territorial control, allowing them to be treated like a warring nation. This concept evolved in the 19th century with the emergency of internal conflict and independence movements. The recognition of belligerent status by third-party status often becomes a complex political and legal issue. Legal basic in HSI, the status of belligerent is often associated with right and obligation similar to those of status in international armed conflict, even though there are not status international customary law. The recognition of belligerent status is largely based on international customary law and state practice. Additional protocol to the Geneva Convention 1977, although it does not directly use the term belligerent in the context of full recognition as in the past. Additional Protocol 2, which applies to non-international armed conflict such as civil wars, provides protection for victims of conflict and set basic rules for the parties involved non-state armed group that meet certain criteria. For example, having responsible command controlling territory and being able to conduct sustained military operation are expected to comply with AHL. If there are captured, they can be classified as unlawful belligerents if they do not meet the criteria for law combatants, but they must still be treated humanely. Legal basis in AHL, the status of belligerent is often associated with right and obligation similar to those of status in international armed conflict, even if there are not status international customary law. The recognition of belligerent status is largely based on international customary law and state party additional Protocol 2 of the Geneva Convention 1977, although it does not directly use the term belligerent in the context of full recognition as in the past. Additional Protocol 2, which applies to non-international armed conflict such as civil wars, provides protection to victims of conflict and establishes basic rules for the parties involved, non-state armed group that mean criteria, for example, having a responsible command, controlling territory, and being able to carry out sustained military operation are expected to comply with IHL. If they are captured, they may be classified as unlawful combatants.
Livy and mass origin, the term living mass is I brings term that means mass competition or mass mobilization. This concept significantly emerged during the French Revolution in 1700. France was facing invasion from several European countries to defend itself. The French National Constitution issued a decree that theoretically constricted the anti-man population aged 18 until 25. But were able to fight to defend the nation. This marked the birth of the idea of nation. Imams were citizens spontaneously took up arms to defend their homeland without having the team to from regular military units. Legal basis living mass is recognized in IHL as a special category of legitimate combatants under certain conditions. Hague Regulation 1907 Article 2. This article explicitly regulates weapon in mass to be considered unlawful combatants and related to prisoner of war status if permanent resident while acting weapon must meet several conditions. The resident of an are not captured by the enemy. The spontaneously take up as in the invading forces without having time to organize themselves into regular armed unit. The carry arms openly the comply with the laws and custom on war is thus condition made the considered lawful combatants and are at least to be tested are prisoners of war if captured just like members of regular armed forces in concept protects civilians while in emergency situation. Defend their concern from direct invasion.
So, is OPM included in the three categories according to international humanitarian law and the perspective of the Indonesian government. OPM is not included in the categories of armies, belligerent, or living in mass. They are more often categorized as non-state armed groups or, in Indonesian terminology, armed criminal groups or terrorist organizations. However, if the conflict involving OPM reaches the threshold of a non-international armed conflict, they remain bound by the fundamental principles of IHL concerning the protection of victims of conflict.
So the conclusion of OPM from your group is that OPM is a non-state armed group facing domestic law enforcement from the government of Indonesia. However, the fundamental principle of HHI regarding the protection of conflict victims must still be respected by all parties if the situation reaches the level of non-international armed conflict.
The explanation from our group. If there are many wrong words, please forgive us. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for watching.